In this video, I am going to share with you perhaps the most important quality for rugby players to have to win games in the modern era, and that is physicality. We are going to go over the reasons that you need to be physical. We're going to show you where this is backed by research, and the bonus at the end is I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can become more physical as a rugby player. So let's crack on with today's video. Rugby era, we've seen an absolutely massive change in the physical qualities of players. We have got body mass increases, strength and size increases. We've got more increases in speed, power, aerobic fitness, and all of that has led to an increased amount of collisions and the forces in those collisions. There's also been longer ball in play time, so there's more action going on. Body fat levels have reduced at the same time. There's a massive change in the modern game, and it is all about the physicality of the game. And that is why it's so important to grasp and so important that you know you need to be a physical player if you want to reach that top level. So maybe you're a rugby player now and maybe you're thinking my specific position doesn't really require me to be that physical, or physicality maybe doesn't apply to my skill set. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over where exactly physicality happens and where it matters most in the game. And you might have a little light bulb moment showing you, oh, I need to be more physical because of this. So, as a defender, you need to be physical to make a tackle. But you also need to be physical as an attacker. You're going to be carrying the ball, therefore you need to have good amounts of physicality to carry with success. Then there's the set piece. We've got the scrum and the line out. This is massive. The more physical teams are going to win those set pieces. We've then got things like rucks and mauls. Again, the physicality is going to help you dominate in these collision and these tight areas. But then we can also think of other areas. When we're out in the open, if you are more physically fast, agile, you can dominate out in the open as well. It doesn't just occur in those tight collision-based areas. Speed and agility is really important too. We've then got things that are especially important in the modern game. For example, your kick receive or potentially your kick chase as well. Catching the ball, it requires you to jump high, it requires you to be more physical than the opponents so that you can reach those areas as well. And then other areas that you might not even think of, again, physicality matters, but kicking goals, for example. If you can kick the ball further because you are more physically fit, powerful, explosive, you can apply that to your technique, it's going to help you win more games. This portfolio here is just a quick example, and it's showing you that physicality matters basically everywhere. Okay, alongside a good brain and a good skill set, if you are more physical, it is going to help you so much to dominate the opposition. So now you might be thinking, oh, where's your backup for this? What's your evidence? Where's the research? Where is everything? Well, here we go. Research is also suggesting the importance of physicality. If you have greater physical characteristics, you're going to dominate the collisions more. But more importantly, research has suggested that strength, power, and your intermittent running performance is going to enhance key performance indicators of rugby. So it all really matters that you are super fit, you are super physical, and research is backing that too. But it is also really plain and really obvious when you look at the absolute elites of the game. And I'm going to use the Springboks as an example because they are the epitome of physicality in rugby. You look at what they've done over the past World Cups and even right now, they've reinvented the wheel and used physicality as the primary weapon to win games. The bomb squad, for example, those guys are on there to be physical, to do a specific job and to outmuscle the opponents at the later stages of the game, and it has been incredibly effective. You look at the way that they won the 2019 World Cup and they beat the England team in the 2023 World Cup. Physical dominance. They absolutely bullied them, especially at the end of the game, so that they could get the points and win the penalties. But you don't even have to think of it up front. For example, the bomb squad and the scrum. Yes, we know they're doing a great job. But you can look at these two here. They are electric on the edges. The backs are fast. They are agile. They are fit. They can do so much damage as well because physically they can do that too. They can score tries. They can score points because they are faster. They're more agile. They can get in better positions. So this team is such a great thing to watch. If you do anything after this, go watch some Springbok highlights. Go see how they utilise their physicality. Not just the bomb squad, not just the big guys up front, but also the way that the fast backs are doing it too to score points and score tries. But this is really important for you to consider, especially if you are at a club level and you want to reach the next level and excel in your rugby. But research really backs the efficacy of using strength and conditioning training on top of your rugby trainings. You have to be lifting weights, you have to be doing extra conditioning, you have to be training for speed so that you can enhance your physical qualities, because you're going to be limiting your ability to adapt, to get more physical and reach that next level if you don't. Brilliant. So what can you do about it? How does this all apply, and where are you going to get the goods? Well, what I'm going to do now is give you the 5 methods and give you some tips on how to do it for improving your physicality in rugby. And the main thing is, the whole overview of this video is you need to train, and you need to train hard, you need to train smart, and you need to get more physical by increasing lean muscle mass, strength levels, your power, speed and conditioning. All of these are the 5 absolute keys for you to becoming a physical and a physically dominant rugby player to reach the next level. We're going to go now into the specific details on how to improve all of these 5 things. So improving your lean muscle mass. Well, this is going to really help you in rugby, because it is an underlying quality of increasing your strength. If you have more force producing muscle mass, you are going to be likely stronger as well. Really important. This means we can produce more force. More force means more momentum too. If you have good quality mass that is lean muscle, that is force producing, you're going to have higher amounts of momentum, which means those collisions are going to be a lot more dominant for you. You're going to be more efficient as well. If you're carrying around a lot of extra mass that is fat mass, it can't be particularly utilized for producing force, then that's going to make you a little bit more fatigued. It's going to be harder to move yourself around. If you've got high amounts of lean muscle mass, and that is predominantly what your mass is, you're going to be an efficient player. You can run for longer. You can be an 80-minute player. And finally, confidence. The mental game is really important as well to be physical. If you are packed full of muscle, you're feeling really good in yourself, you're going to be more confident in tackle. You're going to be more confident in the ball carry, and so on and so forth. So there's even further ways that being physical can help you mentally as well. Lean muscle mass, absolutely massive. And we increase this through primarily resistance training. You're going to be in the gym, you're going to be lifting weights, and you're going to be doing this at moderate to heavy loads. It's important to go through that spectrum. Make sure you're always lifting heavy. That helps improve your lean muscle mass as well. A little tip for you here, try to aim for off and pre-season time to really enhance your body composition. That is because it can take a lot of energy, it can take a lot of time, it can be very fatiguing. So having an off and pre-season emphasis for improving your lean muscle mass is a good way to go, so that you can put that time and energy into training, into that fatigue, so that you can recover and adapt. Then we have our raw strength. This is all about force. We just touched on force very lightly there in the previous slides, but this is so important. Force is everything in rugby. You need to outmuscle your opponents by producing more force than them. But strength is also a foundation of fitness because of that. If you are stronger, you can produce more force. You're also likely to be faster. You're likely to be more efficient and more conditioned as well. You can produce more power output too. So it's so important that strength is an absolute priority. And it can directly help you in some of those rugby situations that we talked about before. For example, the scrum, the ruck, the maul. If you can outmuscle your opponents, again, really important. Producing more force than them is going to help. And we do this through, again, resistance training. But this time we're going heavy, like this guy in his squat here, okay? Heavy loads, and we do this all year round. Because it is a foundation of fitness, because it is so important, we need to make sure we are strength training all season long, off, pre and in, so that we maintain that foundational fitness quality. Power, this is absolutely huge. This is all about increasing our force, but the rate at which we can produce that force. And power is directly related to those rugby KPIs that we mentioned before in research. It is one of the most highly researched and highly backed qualities of fitness that will improve your rugby performance. Power is essential. And there's loads of different ways that you can enhance your power. We're going to be resistance training again. This time we're going to be a wider spectrum of light and heavy loads, but you're always going to be moving the weight as fast as possible, so that again you're increasing that rate of force production. Olympic lifting comes into play here. Also ballistic training, our jumps and throws where we're projecting objects, is massive. Your plyometrics, where you're utilizing the elasticity of your muscles and your soft tissue to get faster as well. And then sprint training too. Don't underestimate the importance of training your speed with regards to your power. Speed is absolutely crucial when you're out in the open to outposition your opponents. And this can be in attack or in defense as well. If you are faster, you will be able to get to the positions quicker. And this creates game-winning situations. If you are fast, you could be the one that breaks the line and scores that winning try, or it could be something like making a cover tackle as well. So it is going to directly help you here in the loose too. And to enhance your speed, you need to get to the field and you need to be doing maximum effort speed training as well. And this is going to include your drills. They're going to help your posture, rhythm, timing, such as hops, skips, bounds, and your sprints. Most importantly, you just need to sprint every single week all year round. And it needs to cover accelerations, shorter distances, maximum velocities over slightly longer distances, and your change of direction and agility as well. You will very rarely be running in a directly straight line in rugby. So if you do all of these four, that is going to help you out a lot. You have to sprint. And your final fitness quality is your conditioning. And specifically, we're going to be talking about your aerobic conditioning. If you are more conditioned, you're going to have an 80-minute engine. And this is becoming more and more important. Again, in the modern game, you need to be able to maintain this towards the end of the game. That is where that game-winning situation may occur. You're going to have more involvements in the game as well. If you're more conditioned, if you can get up off the floor and you can move again and you can get into the next position faster and better, then you are going to be more and more involved. And you'll be able to perform at your best all game long. The last thing you want is to have those dips in the game where you have no energy whatsoever, where you go a bit quiet, you kind of disappear from the game. You want to have an impact, you want to have physicality all the way through. And again, the focus for your conditioning training needs to be aerobic. And we're going to do this through on-feet and off-feet methods, whether you are on the field running, which is what you're going to be doing in rugby. That's really important that you include that, but also off-feet. If you're having a heavy week, if you've got lots of load through the legs, you can jump on a bike, a rower, a skier, you could go for a swim. This could be done continuously or high-intensity interval style training. Both are really important. The continuous side of things helps you, number one, stay nice and lean, but just builds that engine. It's a very clean aerobic way to improve your conditioning, but then high intensity as well, replicating those demands of the game of rugby so that you can get up, you can recover, and you can go again with those repeated high intensity bouts. So there you have it. Hopefully I've convinced you that you need to be a physical rugby player to get to the next level and to start winning more games and dominating your opponents. Just to recap what we went through in this video. Modern rugby, it is so important that you are physical. It absolutely demands physicality so that you win the games, because there's too many situations now that require you to be more physically dominant so you can outdo your opponents. And this isn't just me saying as a fan watching on the TV. This is backed by research. Okay, there is research that tells you physicality improves your performance on the pitch. And the 5 main things that you need to do on top of your rugby training in your strength and conditioning program is to try and enhance your lean body mass, get stronger, increase your power, get faster, better speed, and be more aerobically conditioned. If you found this helpful, please just give this a thumbs up. Also, please check out these videos if you want to see a little bit more detail on some of these fitness qualities. Hopefully they can help you out and you can apply this to your own program as well. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.